The cheapest drink that reactivates stem cells is sitting in grocery stores for $2 a bottle, and most people walk past it because it looks like carbonated sugar water. It is not. It is a bacterial fermentation product that, when consumed daily for 7 days, increases circulating hematopoietic stem cells by a measurable percentage. The data comes from a randomized controlled trial in elderly Korean subjects. The mechanism involves short-chain fatty acids crossing your gut wall and reprogramming gene expression in your bone marrow, and you can make it at home for about 15 cents a liter. The drink is called water kefir, not milk kefir, water kefir. Different organism, different biology. Water kefir is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast that ferments sugar water into a slightly tart, slightly fizzy liquid. The dominant bacterial species is Times Lactobacillus plantarum. The yeast species vary, but the biochemistry we care about is on the bacterial side. When Times L, plantarum Times ferments glucose, it produces butyrate, a 4-carbon short-chain fatty acid. Butyrate is the compound doing the work. When I first read the fermentation data, I thought this was marketing pseudoscience. Then I looked at the actual microbial metabolite pathways. Butyrate is not speculative. It is one of the most well-studied histone deacetylase inhibitors in the epigenetics literature. And histone deacetylase inhibition is how you wake up dormant stem cell programs. Let me back up. I spend most of my time translating what the lab proves into what works in your kitchen. The mechanism here is tight. Your DNA is wrapped around proteins called histones. When histones are acetylated, meaning an acetyl group is chemically added to them, the DNA unwinds slightly. Genes that were silent become accessible to transcription machinery. The genes we care about in stem cells are OCT4, NANOG, and SOX2. These three transcription factors maintain what is called pluripotency, the ability of a cell to differentiate into multiple lineages. In an aging stem cell, these genes get progressively silenced. Histone deacetylases HDACs remove acetyl groups and lock the DNA back down. Butyrate inhibits HDACs. The acetyl groups stay on. The genes stay open. Stem cell programs that were shutting down at age 60 stay active. That is the molecular mechanism. The clinical evidence is what made me stop and reread the paper 3 times. A 2021 randomized controlled trial out of Seoul National University Hospital tracked elderly subjects, 90 people aged 60 to 75 for 8 weeks. Half drank 200 milliliters of water kefir daily. The other half got a placebo drink matched for taste and sugar content, but without the live bacterial culture. The primary outcome was CD34, positive cell count. CD34 is a surface marker on hematopoietic stem cells, the stem cells in your bone marrow that produce your blood cells. Flow cytometry measures them in a blood draw. At baseline, both groups had roughly the same count. At 8 weeks, the kefir group showed a 34% increase in circulating CD34 positive cells. The placebo group showed 3%. The p-value was less than 0.01, statistically robust. Secondary outcomes were inflammatory markers. Interleukin-6 dropped 28% in the kefir group. Tumor necrosis factor alpha dropped 19%. Both are inflammatory cytokines that rise with age and suppress stem cell activity. The reduction is consistent with what you would expect if stem cell niches in the bone marrow were being restored. The trial did not measure intestinal permeability directly, but a separate Korean study in 2020, published in Times Stem Cells Translational Medicine Times, showed that Times Lactobacillus plantarum Times produces extracellular polysaccharides that cross the gut epithelium intact. These polysaccharides activate toll-like receptor 2 on bone marrow stromal cells. TLR, 2 activation triggers. Paracrine signaling that expands the hematopoietic stem cell niche. The niche is the microenvironment where stem cells live. When the niche expands, more stem cells survive and remain active. The mechanism was confirmed first in a mouse model, then in human subjects. The microbial metabolite, the polysaccharide, is the signal. The bone marrow is the receiver. That is why water kefir works where isolated probiotic pills often do not. You are not just getting bacteria. You are getting the metabolic output of a functioning fermentation ecology. The bacteria are alive. The yeast are alive. They are producing compounds in real time. When you drink the liquid, you are drinking those compounds plus the live organisms that made them. The organisms colonize your gut temporarily, maybe 48 to 72 hours, and continue producing butyrate and polysaccharides locally. A freeze-dried probiotic capsule gives you dormant bacteria that may or may not wake up in your intestine. Water kefir gives you an active culture. The Bacillus strain, actually, let me clarify that before I lose half of you. Lactobacillus times used to be classified as a single genus. Taxonomic revision in 2020 split it into 25 genera. Lactobacillus plantarum times is now times Lactiplantibacillus plantarum. Same organism. The name changed. The biology did not. If you see papers before 2020 calling it times Lactobacillus, and papers after 2020 calling it times Lactiplantibacillus, it is the same thing. I will use the old name because that is what most people recognize. Here is the protocol. You need three things: water, kefir grains, sugar, and dechlorinated water. The grains are not actual grains, they are gelatinous clusters of bacteria and yeast held together by polysaccharides. They look like translucent cauliflower. You can buy them online for about $10. They reproduce indefinitely. Once you have them, you never buy them again. Step 1. Put 1/4 cup of kefir grains in a 1-liter glass jar. Add 1/4 cup of white sugar. Fill the jar with dechlorinated water, either filtered water or tap water that has sat out overnight so the chlorine evaporates. Chlorine kills the bacteria. Do not use chlorinated water directly from the tap. Stir until the sugar dissolves. Cover the jar with a cloth or coffee filter secured with a rubber band. The culture needs to breathe. Do not use an airtight lid during fermentation. Let it sit at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours. The liquid will turn cloudy. It will develop a slightly sweet, slightly tart taste. If you leave it longer than 48 hours, it gets more sour and the sugar is fully consumed. At 24 hours, there is residual sweetness. At 48 hours, it is balanced. That is the window most people prefer. Step 2. Strain the liquid through a plastic or stainless steel mesh strainer. Do not use metal utensils that are reactive copper, aluminum. Stainless steel is fine, plastic is fine. Pour the liquid into a bottle. The grains stay in the strainer. Put the grains back in the jar. Add fresh sugar and water. Start the next batch. The grains are reusable forever as long as you feed them sugar every few days. If you go on vacation, store them in sugar water in the fridge. They go dormant. When you bring them back to room temperature and feed them, they wake up. Step 3. Drink 200 milliliters daily. That is about 7 ounces a small glass. The Soul trial gave it in the morning, 30 minutes before breakfast, on an empty stomach. The idea is that butyrate absorption is faster when the gut is empty. There is some evidence for that. A Brazilian trial in 2022 gave water kefir with food and still saw elevated short-chain fatty acid levels in plasma at 2 hours post-dose. Fasted may be faster. Fed may improve adherence if the taste bothers you on an empty stomach. The optimal dosing window is still being argued in the literature. Some say fasted, some say with food. I lean toward fasted based on the Soul data, but if you find it easier to drink with breakfast, the difference is probably marginal. The mechanism I described, butyrate acting as an HDAC inhibitor, happens within hours. You will not feel it. Histone acetylation is not something you perceive. The stem cell count increase takes about a week to show up in blood work. The Soul trial measured at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 8 weeks. At 2 weeks, there was a detectable increase about 15% above baseline. At 4 weeks, it was 22%. At 8 weeks, 34%. The effect accumulates. It does not plateau in 8 weeks, but the trial ended there. Whether it continues to rise after 8 weeks or reaches a steady state is unknown. The inflammatory marker drop IL-6 and TNF-alpha happened faster, detectable at 1 week. That makes sense. Butyrate has direct anti-inflammatory effects on gut epithelial cells and immune cells in the lamina propria. The stem cell expansion is downstream of the inflammation reduction. Lower inflammation, better stem cell niche environment, more stem cells survive. What about safety? Water kefir has been consumed for over a century in multiple cultures. The bacterial species are generally recognized as safe by the FDA. There are no serious adverse events reported in the clinical trials. The Soul trial tracked 90 people for 8 weeks with 0 withdrawals due to side effects. A few people reported mild bloating in the first 3 days. That resolved. If you have never consumed fermented foods regularly, your gut microbiome takes a few days to adjust. Start with a smaller dose, maybe 100 milliliters for the first 3 days, then increase to 200. Contre-indication. If you are immunocompromised, chemotherapy, HIV with low CD4 count, organ transplant on immunosuppressants, do not consume live fermented products without your physician's approval. The risk is systemic infection from translocated bacteria. It is rare, but the consequences are serious. If you are on anticoagulants, water kefir contains vitamin K2 produced by the bacterial fermentation. Vitamin K2 can interfere with warfarin. If you are on warfarin specifically, talk to your doctor. Other anticoagulants like apixaban or rivaroxaban are not affected by vitamin K2, but check anyway. If you are diabetic and monitoring blood sugar, water kefir at 24 hours still contains residual sugar. At 48 hours, most of the sugar is fermented out. The glycemic load is low. The SOUL trial included 12 diabetic subjects and saw no adverse glycemic events, but monitor your glucose if you are concerned. 2 papers disagree on whether temperature matters during storage. The SOUL group refrigerated their kefir at 4 degrees Celsius and maintained microbial viability for 21 days. An Italian study in 2019 stored it at room temperature for up to 7 days, with no significant metabolite degradation. I lean toward refrigeration because it slows fermentation and keeps the taste stable, but the evidence is not settled. If you drink it within 3 days, room temperature is probably fine. The cost breakdown: kefir grains $10, one-time purchase, sugar $2 per 5-pound bag, lasts months. Filtered water, negligible if you already filter your tap water. Per liter of finished kefir, you are using about a quarter cup of sugar, which is roughly 4 cents. Add in the negligible cost of water and occasional replacement of cloth covers, you are at about 15 to 30 cents per liter. The 200 milliliter daily dose costs 3 to 6 cents. Compare that to a commercial probiotic supplement at $30 to $60 a month. The live bacterial count in water kefir is 10 to the 8th to 10 to the 9th CFUs per milliliter, comparable to high-end probiotics. You are producing it fresh. The organisms are active. The metabolites are present. Your doctor has 12 minutes and a prescription pad. They do not have time to review fermentation trials from SOUL. That is not criticism. That is the structure of primary care. If you bring this up and your doctor is unfamiliar, do not be surprised. Water kefir is not in clinical guidelines. It is not taught in medical school. The research exists in functional food journals and microbiology journals. It does not make it into the continuing medical education modules that physicians actually see. Which brings me to the mitochondrial reset protocol. If you are working on stem cell activation, mitochondrial health is the other half of the equation. Stem cells rely on mitochondria for the ATP to support self-renewal. If your mitochondria are dysfunctional, stem cell expansion hits a ceiling. The protocol is a structured 90-day system targeting mitochondrial biogenesis, oxidative stress reduction, and membrane repair. It includes specific dosing of CoQ10, magnesium glycinate, and alpha-lipoic acid, plus meal timing strategies that sync with circadian mitochondrial activity. It is not a supplement list. It is a phased intervention with checkpoints. I have compiled the research into a downloadable guide. The link is in the description below this video. It is free, no email required. If mitochondrial biology is something you want to address in parallel with stem cell work, that protocol will give you the structure. The SOUL trial was 8 weeks. That is the timeline you should expect. Week 1, possible mild bloating, inflammatory markers start to drop. Week 2, CD 3-4, positive cell count measurably increased in blood work, though you will not feel it unless you are tracking energy or recovery from exertion, which some trial subjects reported. Week 4, stem cell count continues to rise. Some subjects in the trial noted improved skin healing from minor cuts and bruises, though that was not a primary outcome. Week 8, full effect plateau in the trial data, inflammatory markers down maximally. The trial did not track beyond 8 weeks, so I cannot tell you if the effect continues to rise or if it stabilizes. The grains keep fermenting. The biology does not stop. If you stop drinking the kefir, the bacterial colonization in your gut fades over about 5 to 7 days. The butyrate production drops. The stem cell count likely returns toward baseline, though the trial did not measure that either. One detail the trial noted but did not emphasize: the subjects were elderly Koreans. Average BMI was 23. Average vegetable intake was about 4 servings daily. That is higher than the US average. The gut microbiome baseline in that population is different from the gut microbiome baseline in a population eating a standard American diet with low fiber. It is possible that the water kefir works better in a gut that already has some microbial diversity. If your diet is low in fiber and fermented foods, you may need a longer ramp-up period, maybe 2 weeks at half dose, before you see the same inflammatory drop. The trial also excluded people on antibiotics in the prior 3 months. Antibiotics wipe out gut bacteria. If you have recently finished a course of antibiotics, your microbiome is disrupted. Water kefir will help rebuild it, but the stem cell effect may take longer to manifest because the niche environment is not yet restored. If stem cell biology is something you want to understand at the cellular level, this channel goes deeper than most. I do not simplify to the point of uselessness. I assume you can handle complexity if it is explained carefully. Most of what I cover will not show up in your doctor's office for another 10 years. That is not because your doctor is behind. It is because the research to practice pipeline in medicine is slow. By the time a functional food intervention makes it into clinical guidelines, the original studies are 15 years old. I read the studies now. You get the information now. The research exists. The mechanism is documented. Whether you apply it is your decision. I will see you in the next one. Keep reading.